Hello everyone, I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic and welcome to this very special deep woo-woo episode of the Divine Feminine Oracles. Tonight is a special show, of course, for the full moon. You can find our guest tonight, of course, Janine here at Sending Ravens and also at Tarot by Janine on YouTube. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hi everybody. Hi ladies. And Jean-Claude, of course.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Janine. Good to have you back. And of course, you can welcome back, please, the amazing Sophie and Julie. You can find their work at Maison Jupiter here on YouTube and also on the web at maisonjupiter.com. Sophie and Julie, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Hi. JC. Hey, Janine. Hey, Sophie.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us here tonight again for this full moon healing activation show. It is an interactive show, and we are going to ask you, the audience members, to participate with us, to set the intentions of where all of this amazing energy is going to go tonight. So perhaps we'll get back into that here in a few minutes and explain that. But first, a big thank you to all of you supporting this show and being part of this amazing community. Every time we bring all of you guys back on the show, I'm reminded how so impactful it is when we're all here together sharing with our collective. So big thank you everyone for joining us here tonight. Julie, why don't you set the stage this evening? Of course, it is the full moon. Explain the astrology behind the show this evening, and then I will ask, of course, Janine and Sophie to bring some astrology contextual conversation here for tonight's episode. Go ahead, Sophie. Julie.
Sure. So first of all, well, full moons, they bring closure, they bring rewards. And also, as Janine was saying yesterday during the live, I think it's a good manifestation energy also. So because the moon is a feminine energy, the full moon. So the light is shone on the divine feminine energy, and the divine feminine energy attracts to her whatever she wants to manifest in her reality. So it's very much of a law of attraction energy, first of all. And second of all, it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is the sign of exploration, of wisdom, of travel. So we know in Canada, we had a good announcement made today regarding the travel. So that's good. So yeah, it's about breaking free. So I call this full moon breaking free from old, outdated belief system, because Sagittarius is also about belief system. So it's a really good full moon to, first of all, think about what's been holding you back on your journey. So what do you want to let go? Because full moons are all about letting go also, in order to move on with more power, with more intuition, with more force into your life. So that's the first big energy that we're that we're having, because it's today. And it was at its maximum in the sky last night, so between Monday and Tuesday. And what's special about this full moon is that we're having a square, pretty exact square to the planet Neptune, which brings some fog, some illusions, deceptions, some it's also associated to mainstream media. So sometimes it's kind of something is hidden during this full moon. So there might be some disclosures, some truths that we're getting to, but keep in mind that when Neptune is badly aspected, as it is right now during this full moon, there's always something behind the surface that's not being told exactly as it is. So so yeah, there's an energy of that. So we always have to be aware of, it's not I don't remember the saying exactly, but what shines isn't always gold, something like that. So it's kind of what's happening during this full moon.
Okay.
And so I invite you guys, if you know where 23 degrees of Sagittarius falls in your own birth chart, so look up the sign of Sagittarius and look up, yeah, thank you. So more, so this is my chart here for where the planets are in the sky right now. So try to locate this little symbol here, the arrow, which is Sagittarius. And right at the end of it, so you go counterclockwise always in astrology, and you're going to locate the moon, which is at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. So if you can look up your birth chart and know in what house it falls, then you're going to have another clue about what's going to be really potent in your own birth chart. So what type of manifestation energy there is for you. So let's say if it's in your 9th house, well, travel is a really good idea for you, or let go of some old beliefs. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about this full moon, you can stay on this same, yeah, thank you. We have an exact conjunction at this full moon between Mars and Chiron. So Chiron is the wounded healer. It's a planet about healing. And Mars is all about either taking action, but also it's associated to the physical body in the sign of Aries. So it's all about healing the physical body and taking action towards healing. So I think what we're going to do tonight is going to be very, well, I'm hoping it's going to have an impact on some people and on the world. So I think this is a really good energy to have a special meditation or a special healing for that.
And we're going to have a special guest joining us a little bit later on with some amazing singing bowls for not only an activation, but also a general healing. And this is where we're going to ask all of you, the audience members, to write down in the chat where you want that energy to flow through and to. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, Julie, going back to the full moon in Sagittarius chart, let me go back here. Is there anything else here that you wanted to share with the audience members before we ask Julie and, before we ask Sophie and Janine to chime in here with the...
Yeah, one last thing. I picked an oracle card earlier today to know what kind of energy was supporting this full moon. And I've got star ancestors. So with this energy of pyramids. And in the booklet, it talked about having an activation of a grid on Earth. So I really think that making crystal grids, energy grids is very powerful at the moment. And I think what we're about to do tonight is going to be very powerful because, yeah, I love that picture. This is so cool.
Here's an example of one of our Beyond Mystic followers, of course, creating these crystal grids with not only the Beyond Mystic silver bars, the tarot bar, and the star card and the logo of the Beyond Mystic bar, but also the Yoga Elena candles. It might give you a hint of what's coming up a little bit later here in the show, so stay tuned for that. Julie, keep going.
Yeah, and I think us doing this meditation all together in different places on the globe is going to activate this grid even more. So I really love the idea.
So if you guys have your grids and your crystals, put them together for later in the show here tonight, and maybe get a glass of water also to amplify the signal. All right, let me get Janine on the screen here tonight. Janine, of course, you were talking about the full moon yesterday on the show, what you and Ashley were also going to do. I'd like to remind the audience members also to go and check out your last interview that you posted today here on Sending Ravens with Ismael Perez. Share with the audience here very quickly before we get into the astrology for the full moon, Janine, why this show is important and why you want people to go and take a look at the information.
Well, I was very inspired by this fellow. I first saw him on Nicholas Veniaman being interviewed, and I shouted him out and talked about him on Sending Ravens, and a lot of the wonderful viewers who also maybe view his channels got a hold of him and sort of alerted him to what I was saying about him, and then he got a hold of me. So right away, within probably 2 days of shouting him out, I had an email, and we were arranging to. He wanted to know if I wanted to interview him, and I was like, yeah. It was awesome. So it all came together really quickly. And I just think he brings a lot of the pieces together. Like we've been piecing it together on some of our pay-per-views, Julie, myself, and Jean-Claude. We've been throughout many shows. I've been trying to put the pieces together for the off-world part of this. And it's a huge part. It's actually the biggest part, it seems. And he's sort of bringing some of the parts. And I know so many people do. So we have lots of people doing that. But it's just really good in a way because I connected a lot of dots listening to him. So I'm not saying he's the only one doing this, because there's lots of wonderful people bringing all those dots together, but certain people just get it to click. And for me, it was that he got it to really click for me. So I wanted to share, his knowledge. So it was really exciting to talk to him.
Well, awesome and very good. So, folks, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. You can find that on Sending Ravens. And while you're there, click that like and subscribe button. Also, we just jumped over to 100K. Congratulations, Janine, for that. Janine, let's get into the tarot cards for this evening. What does universe want to share with the audience members here as we embark together on this collective healing process using the energies of the full moon? What can your tarot add to the conversation tonight? And then we'll also add Sophie's point of view coming up next.
Wow. Okay, so the first card I pulled was the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups, making connections, soulful connections, making a real soulful, or meeting your soulmate, or meeting a soul connected other, a soul friend. Doesn't have to be a mate, could be a friend, somebody that feels soulfully connected to you. But now we've got the Star. So off-world soul connections. So off-world relatives, off-world, like parts of ourselves in the future, like it's getting crazy out there, like the information we're finding out, right? We could even be living amongst energies and entities that are from the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these cards are like making those kind of connections. This card being, all things are possible, and staying open to, things that are outside of your usual perception, and the kind of connections we could make could be amazing here, because we've got the Wheel of Fortune was in the middle. So that's in the middle of those two. So it could change everything. What we're learning about the world and our origins could change everything. And this was all planned, and it's already taken place on some levels and in some sort of timelines. So what we're witnessing has already taken place in various different ways. The outcome happened in various different outcomes, and it'll all depend on what we resonate with and align with.
Wow. It reminds me, Julie, we were doing research for the next pay-per-view we're doing tomorrow in Antarctica the other day. And when we were on the Zoom call, you mentioned something about how things have to happen first on the etheric level or on the energetic level, and then manifest here in physicality. Share with the audience a little bit what you mean by that, and how close we are to these big shifts that are happening as we moved into this new transition at the end of December 2021, and what's coming up here for the audience members also in 2022.
Yeah, so in December of 2021, we had the planet Jupiter moving into the sign of Pisces. So it's kind of ushering us into a more spiritual era. So we're at the beginning of this big transition into the age of Aquarius. So it makes us value a lot more all our inner lives, our spirituality, our connection to ourselves, our interconnection with all living things, all living beings on Earth, but also outside the Earth. So I think we're in a totally different place, totally different energy. But we were having this conversation, as I remember, as why do we feel like such a different energy, a different vibration, but also like our exterior environment seem to be still the old world. So I was kind of saying, well, in my opinion, I feel like every change has to occur in the ether before it can manifest in the 3D reality. So I feel like this transition of energy, of values, of way of living is already there. The change has already been made, but I feel like it still has to unfold in our physical 3D reality. So we're in the process of bringing this down on Earth.
I love it. And as we bring in Sophie, of course, from Maison Jupiter. Sophie, speaking of valuing our inner lives and our spirituality, your world has changed quite a bit also since being introduced to the Beyond Mystic audience. Of course, you were fully booked here until the end of August, I believe, already for your tarot consultations. Absolutely popular. We're getting amazing feedback from all of the customers. I know you've just added a few more spots. Explain that a little bit to the audience here before we go. And then I'm going to ask you also to bring the tarot point of view here tonight from your perspective as it pertains to this full moon.
Yes, so absolutely my life has changed from the start. So again, thank you so much. I really appreciate to be a part of this wonderful community. I pressure that it's so wonderful. Thank you so much. So yes, I had to watch my energy level. I have to do Reiki often just because it's a lot energetically, and right now with everything going on in the world, I have to watch when I do my one-on-one session, my energy level, how I'm doing, and that's why I didn't had a ton of priority readings. I had to watch the number, but right now I'm in vacation. Everything is fine. I try to open every place that I have for you guys, because I know how you need that to have some clues of what to do next, some guidance, some cleansing of your energy. So every time that I have some time, I open slots for you.
Okay, well, very good. I'm sure a lot of the audience members will be excited for that right now, because I do get a lot of emails saying, Jean-Claude, Sophie's calendar is always full. So there you go, guys. We've just opened up quite a few slots here. I'm bringing the link on the live screen for you guys there as well. So pick those up while you still can. Okay, Sophie, why don't you pull some cards here again tonight? We're looking at this full moon, the energy, and the aspect from the Chiron Mars perspective also of the healing component of this full moon. We're going to slowly start asking the audience members also to populate here who they want to send energy to, whether it's themselves, their loved ones, their friends, their families, here in the live chat. But in the meantime, speak to us from your tarot point of view, why this particular evening and the energy of this collective is so important. Sophie.
Right now, I think that we need healing. We need to release everything that we have blocking us. And the one thing that we need to remove the most is the fear. The fear is around us, and most of us are empaths, so we are taking that, and this is slowing us down. So we need, as a community, to release the fear, to release everything that is holding us back.
Very good. Okay. Do you want to pick some cards as well?
Sure.
Okay, let's start there. Okay. And then also ask maybe Janine to bring back an extra point of view. I've just thought of something here as you were talking. And thank you everyone for all the love in the live chat, including Violaine. Thank you so much for that comment. That's amazing. You're making everybody blush here tonight. Okay, Sophie, let's pull a few cards also to keep going here.
Sure. So I took the cards already from the deck, and I have conclusion as the very first card. So it's so much telling when it's a full moon. It's a conclusion of everything that you worked on since, for the most, new moon or the eclipses that are on effect for the next 6 months. If I'm correct, Julie?
Exactly.
Yay, I'm learning. Okay. So next we have conclusion. We do have purging that is next. For me, it's about the same energy, but we have the next card is desire, and the final card is good news. So for me, what it's telling us is that with this full moon in Sagittarius, we need to release the expectation. When we manifest, we need to release how we want those things to happen. We need to release the details. Just let go and trust, have faith. Sagittarius is faith, if I'm correct, Julie.
Exactly.
So Sagittarius is telling us to please have faith, release the control, just let go, make the intention and let go of any expectation. So with that conclusion, for those who haven't received the conclusion that you were expecting, maybe do two things: release
the details, release the control, ask again, but in a way that you ask for more broad topic like abundance, love, money. But you know what? Ask that only and just tell the universe, I trust you. Bring that any way that you want it to bring it. But this is what I want for you.
Okay, that's very good and very important. It's a topic that Janine and I have been talking about for quite some time since we started our collaboration. And Janine, this is where I also want you to maybe pull some cards and give some general guidance to the audience, because releasing is easier said than done. And myself included, we've all had our challenges over the last 2 years. We've been asked to let go of so many things, especially those of us who are in this awakening process. And in some cases, it's been very difficult. It's been very personal for a lot of the audience members. And it appears right now, as we're going through this transition, even more of that will be required from us to be able to move into this new reality we're trying to shape and form for ourselves. So let's look at some cards here and perhaps give some audience members a little bit more clarity and advice on how to go through that releasing process that is so very important, as Sophie was just mentioning.
This is really funny. Same two cards.
Right.
So self-loving in this case. So let's talk about them in a more intimate and interpersonal way. Okay, so I won't talk about it externally. I'm going to talk about it internally. So this card is about self-loving, connecting with all the parts of yourself and loving them, not having a judgment on certain parts of your personality. So just loving your ego, loving your soul self, loving all the parts. Like, we have a lot of different ways that we are in the world, and we have to just get over it and get used to, and just try to support and love those areas. Let all of the parts of your personality strut. And then this card is very much about trust. And I think Sophie was talking about trust, right? So this card, this person trusts so much that they're naked in nature, okay? And they're healing through that trust. So it's about trusting, but not in external people, but in your own self and your own knowledge, your own intuitive knowing, your own touch base with yourself, trust and love yourself enough to take your own inner advice. Okay, don't always go looking for it outside of yourself. You're being spoken to directly. If you listen, if you ask to hear it, you'll hear it. The internal voice gets louder when you give it permission. So I feel like that's going to really help and guide people individually, because this whole thing that's going on is very individual. Every person is experiencing this differently. The loss of family and friends, like even if it's just their company, maybe literally the loss of family and friends, the loss of the way our society was, knowing that most of our history has been a lie. Mm-hmm. So now you're losing those facades and who you thought your systems were, what you thought they were doing for us. We've lost a lot of that, almost all of it. Mm-hmm. Everything we thought we could rely on maybe 10 years ago is not going to be the case. So we're going to be rebuilding. So I have a feeling, really develop that connection with yourself going forward, and listen and give yourself permission to hear what you personally need to do. It'll be different for everybody.
Okay, that's very good. And while I have you on the screen also, a lot of people are looking at their birth charts, and let me bring this up for the audience members. Guys, there's many ways you can get your birth charts online, but you can also, of course, choose to get one here from Julie at MAISON Jupiter. She creates all of these by hand. She's a graphic designer, of course. You can find that at MAISONJupiter.com. Coupon code BeyondMystic will give you an extra 10% off there on the birth charts, but also the readings with Sophie. But Janine, as people get to understand a little bit more their astrology, and they're following some of these shows with us, the Astro Woo Finance and these Divine Feminine Oracles show, a lot of people are starting to want to understand that they are actually being influenced by all of these astrological bodies, where at first they thought, oh, okay, I'm here on the 3D level. I understand that maybe the The waves from the 5G towers are affecting me. The TVs affected me. The energy from the people around me are affecting me. But as you grow and grow in your consciousness, you realize that there are much bigger players in this whole realm. So let's talk about specifically here this full moon today. We had a lot of weird news coming out today. In some cases, it appears to be good news, but in some other cases, it appears to be theater. You and I were talking about that today in the sense that perhaps they're asking us to look at one hand while they're doing something with the other hand. So each and every one of us looking at the news today and moving forward as we discover more and more on what's happening around this planet, we're being asked to use this newfound discernment. And a lot of that has to do with understanding how these astrological bodies are affecting our world view today. So maybe let's ask the cards about this particular full moon. Let's do a collective reading for the Beyond Mystic audience. They're very unique. A lot of them are star seeds. A lot of them are activated already in their missions. A lot of them are healers, as we've recognized. What does this particular full moon have to say to them today?
This is my strategy card, and this is an intellectual card because there's swords, so it's thoughts and words. So being strategic with your thoughts and words, especially about your future or what you're planning just ahead, right? Because this guy's planning in his very near future. So he's not necessarily planning years down the road, but he's deciding maybe what he's going to do today or how he's going to put his energy forward. And it's only a page, so we're not talking about the whole rest of the year. So being strategic in your daily practices and daily how you put your mind to things, how you step in your present moment going forward, and being strategic. So taking responsibility for thoughts, taking responsibility for thoughts and actions. All right, and being very mindful not to fall into this card, which is our fear-based thinking card. And again, Sophie mentioned this. So this is about fearing, and we're going to need to be really brave right now because we're going into, we can't trust anything we figured out in the mainstream media. That's been probably known to a lot of people in this community for a long time. You can't trust any of your systems, and you definitely can't trust the news. So today we had the announcement that Canadians can fly. Okay. But like Jean-Claude said, could this, like, we're always expecting when the other shoe's going to drop. There's always that expectation that, okay, they're just taking our attention over here because they're going to trick us over here with something in the fall that'll be a lot worse than, and they're just trying to ease things up till they throw us back in the boiling pot again. You know, there's that. Now, I personally don't want to focus on that that's what they're going to do, but we know that's been what they've been doing for sure. We do know that. So in order for us to change that, we have to collectively use our conscious intent going forward, so we actually don't go back into that part of the matrix where they're even able to fool us anymore.
Right. Wow, okay, that's really good advice. Let me take, we're a little bit early here for our special guest, so let me take a few questions either from the PayPal tip jar or the Insider Access Pass Discord.
And if I may add something while you look at the questions,
Go ahead.
what Jenny was saying makes so much sense, because Sagittarius is the sign of like the higher brain, if you will, because the opposite sign of Gemini is like the monkey brain. So you get caught easily in your everyday thoughts and what am I going to eat for dinner, what I'm going to do tomorrow. But when you go into the Sagittarius sign, which is the opposite of the monkey brain, it's like seeing things from a higher perspective. So it's really important that we strategize and that we see our lives with, we prioritize things in our life according to our higher self rather than the monkey brain. And also I'm feeling this square to Neptune, which in my head is like the 7 of Cups card that Janine pulled. Is like this illusion kind of energy. So it's really pushing us to find our inner compass in order to, it's like when we have a hard alignment with Neptune, it's like walking through fog. So we're walking, but we don't really know what we're doing or where we're going, but we're having to really focus on ourselves inside so we can find our inner compass. So it's really about discernment. So learning to trust your own intuition, not listening to what anybody else has to say about a specific situation.
Right. Discernment is key. I love that. Okay, let me take, I found a few questions here in the PayPal tip jar. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's start with Tiffany. Let me see if I can zoom that in the middle of the screen for you guys. Hello, JC, Janine, Julie, and Sophie. You are wonderful and make the world a much better place to be. Thank you. Appreciate that. Please, can you ask the cards? We'll start with Janine. Cards or universe, what is blocking my gut healing? For Tiffany. I'll start with you, Janine, and then we'll also ask Sophie the same question. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for that. I really appreciate that.
So I'm going to assume she's meaning literally her health in her guts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that. Okay, so we've got judgment and the Two of Swords. So judgment. So it's definitely something that needs to be looked at right away. And it's something that might have been put on, it's almost like a knowing, because swords, and then we've got the two swords crossing and then the blindfold. So there's something the person that asked the question is maybe not looking at, yet they know. Okay, so it's like they know, but they might have even been told, or they were told a long time ago. They know something, but they're having a hard time almost admitting that that's what it is. So that's kind of what I get. And even a couple of years ago, they might have been told. So I feel like there's something within their own selves that needs to heal so they can move that. It's almost like a personal block out of the way and move forward with something they already know to do. So they know the answer to that question. So I know that's frustrating when you get an answer like that, but it's like the universe wants them to go through the process of checking in on what they know and listening and then taking action from what they know. So going back a little ways, and in particular 2 years ago, there was something maybe told to them, or that there was an incident or a situation in their health then that seems to have sort of turned into what's happening now. Wow. And if they can touch base back there, I think the answer will become really clear. And part of the healing is to address the thing and go through the process of finding it inside their knowing, if that makes any sense.
I think it does. Hopefully, Tiffany, that works. But let's also chime in with Sophie, who seems to be nodding her head there. What do you have to add to Tiffany also about her gut healing?
I connected to your energy. I can feel something bacteria. For me, it's caused by stress. So are you eating a lot of maybe sugar when you're stressed? Something like that would make a lot of sense for me when I connect to your energy. So look at what are you doing when you're stressed and try to adjust that. We are at the full moon, so it's a perfect timing to do that, to change a bad habit. But yes, I would have that checked out with a doctor. Let me just get one card on this.
Okay.
We have return. So I agree with Janine, it's something that you already know with the card that says return. And we have stable with the King of Pentacles. So it's not something that I see that could be on and off. I think it's something that is there stable. But for me, it's caused by stress and something that you do because of the stress.
Wow. So there is a knowing there. I think if you tune in, Tiffany, you'll understand what both Sophie and Janine are trying to put across. You just mentioned something about behaviors also. Julie, you mentioned the astrology right now also is conducive to people changing their patterns. Can you go through that very quickly here for this show also?
Yeah, so whenever we have Jupiter and Mars, which is right now in the sign of Aries, it's really a good energy to focus on your physical body and try to heal it. Also because of this Mars-Chiron conjunction. But also on top of that, we're having Saturn retrograde right now. It just turned retrograde at the beginning of the month. So for 5 months, Saturn is going to turn retrograde. So meaning Saturn is all about structures, is all about routines, habits. So it's a really good time to change if you have any bad habits. Let's say you do something when you're stressed, you eat sugar or whatever it is. So it's a really good time to look at those habits and change them for the better, of course. So because Saturn turns retrograde, we're having to find another sense of balance and to have a new sense of routine that we're trying during this retrograde period. So when it's going to go back direct, October, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, October. So when Saturn goes direct, then it's going to be already part of your day-to-day routines. So let's say a new healthy habit, or you're dropping off some stuff, because Saturn is also having stronger boundaries. So saying no to whatever is not allowed in your energy field.
Okay, very good. Janine, let me bring you back on. We'll do an Insider Access Pass question. This one is from Susan1111. I love that. A lot of one. 1111. She says, question, how do we optimize the healing energies now / practical tips? Thank you. Love Susan.
Good question.
Yeah, absolutely. Very on point for the show tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 5s right away. Interesting. So these are about temporary setbacks and disappointments. This person is emotionally disappointed in something that happened in the past, but they're not looking at what has occurred or what they still have. So that if they would just turn around and stop focusing on these spilt cups, they would notice they have 2 full cups. And remember the 2 of Cups card. So it's interesting. What they are looking for could be right behind them, but they're too busy focusing on the past. And then this card, which is the 5 of Swords. So it's about self-defeating sometimes words. So using your words to defeat or, take down the enemy. But sometimes we're doing that inside our own head. So we're our own worst enemy. Sometimes that card can talk about. And with these 2 cards coming up first, I feel like a lot of us might be sitting in temporary funks. Do you know what I mean? Where you're feeling like you just can't bump out of it. And then this card and this card came underneath them. So this is a balance card. It's also about a loving sort of more, it's very Libran. So there's a sense of balance and fairness to the card, and about balancing our masculine and feminine. And then we've got this Hierophant here. So finding a lesson and a balance in what's happening instead of focusing on what didn't happen as fast as you wanted it to. So this almost feels like the world situation. A lot of us wished we wouldn't be still talking about the movie, let's say. A lot of us wish we were, past this point, and Mr. T would have stepped back into his rightful place, and all of these different scenarios that we believe should have happened already, right? So staying maybe a little bit out of here and coming into personal balance, focusing on beauty and aesthetics as well, like beautifying your home, working on your garden, because that'll keep you in the present moment, and also looking at what are we learning in the process instead of complaining or being hard on ourselves because things haven't happened as fast as we wanted. What can we learn from this, and what beauty can we see in the present moment? Even though it's hard right now, there's beauty to see, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
I feel like the Lover's card just wanted to show up during this full moon. I think it's been 3 times.
Yeah. Really interesting. Okay. Sophie, did you want to tackle that one as well? Do you want to add to that?
Sure. I had the exact same message, but thank you so much for those words. It's beautiful. Okay, so I do have the same cards. I have Release and I have the Death card. So we are looking at like you said, the 3 cups that are in front of us that are reversed. So we are looking at those cups that had not worked out the way that we expected, those cups that has not happened the way that we wanted them to manifest. So in this full moon, say, okay, it's not working the way that I want it to be. So I need to go in with my emotion, with the Queen of Cups. I need to go in. I need to really be looking at changing my ways, changing how I do things, and trusting in myself, like you said, Janine. And for me, it's myself. Through the universe, it's in myself. So the divine feminine energy within me. And I need to be waiting for the results because it's coming. We need to have faith in that. But the first step is accepting that we need to change, accepting that change is right now needed to get where we want to go.
Wow. Okay. That's really good advice too. Thank you so
So
much.
cool.
I appreciate that very much. I just saw 2 funny comments. Tony Plant, you girls rock. You too, JC. I love it. Thank you, Tony. And yes, I agree. Those girls absolutely do rock. Ronnie says, JC, I sent you an important email. Check screw big gov. Okay, I will. On that note, guys, I'm about 7 days late behind in all my emails. It's absolutely crazy in the last couple of weeks. So I will get to each and every one of you as I can here, especially for the pay-per-view support page. But thank you, Ronnie. I'll look out for your email as well. Okay, to help us, guide us tonight in this healing and activation process, we have a very special guest. Second time on the show, of course. You can find her at Maison Jupiter. It is none other than Elena, the crystal candle whisperer magician. Elena, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hi, guys.
That is a long title for you, Elena. We're so excited to have you back on. Before we start, we see that you have those amazing singing bowls here. We're very excited to do this ceremony here live with you guys and the audience here tonight. But before we do that, Elena, share with the audience a little bit here how life has completely changed for you since you embarked on this trajectory of self-mastery and abundance through this new organic economy and your crystal candle creations. Elena, how's life changed for you?
I'm in the right path. Guys, I wanted to thank you so much because I feel like this is something that we are doing together, and you guys really give me that push and this blessing for me to be able to follow my guidance and what I needed to do in life, because I wasn't able to support the family for 3 years, and now I'm able to support the family, so that means a lot. And I started doing yoga again in September, and that money that I was saving was for the candles. And I was telling my husband, give me time. I need time. I know something is coming. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And I had a lot of pressure, but I feel amazing. And because of you guys, and I feel with so much energy. I'm not doing physio as much anymore. And this is amazing for me. And the candles, I can feel the energy from all over the world with you. And it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Elena. I really appreciate that. And let's take this moment also to thank the audience members who came to the call of action here when we launched these amazing full moon crystal infused candle creations of yours. We had a bit of a hiccup as we started this, seeing as we had incredible demand for the candles in the first week of launching this, and I know our audience members were really patient in making sure, of course, you're creating all of these by hand. Tell us where we're at now with the shipping process of that huge original batch, and what type of inventory you have here moving forward at the ready for the audience here tonight.
Right now, I have to say this is amazing. As of today, I only have 3 shipping to do, which I'm up to date, and the candles are ready to go, and we have a lot of candle to send.
So
we learned from experience. From the last time.
I remember showing the audience members, both you, Julie, and Elena, drowning in boxes as you were trying to ship all of these around the world. So good on you guys to do that. So a big thank you to all of you, of course, supporting everyone. And to let you know, of course, tonight, the coupon code Beyond Mystic is still, of course, in effect. If you guys are looking at getting one of these amazing full moon crystal infused creations here by Elena, absolutely amazing. I have mine. Oh, you can't see me on the screen here, but I have quite a few in my possession already. Thank you so much, Libby on the screen also for all the love, and thank you to all of the moderators tonight too. You guys are doing an amazing job. Elena, let's start here tonight. A friend of mine, Mr. Dick Algayer, he's a remote viewer at Crypto Viewing. He's been feeling pretty bad here in the last couple of weeks. A lot of people are very nervous for his health. And as I was talking to him the other day, I said, hey, listen, I have a live stream coming up and we're doing something special for the full moon. And we're going to ask the audience to join us in sending you some positive healing energy. Let me bring up the picture of our friend here, Dick Algayer, from his younger days when he kind of looked like Magnum PI. This was a spoof I made, parody of him just last year. We had a lot of fun. So this is Richard Algayer. Elena, as you start here, why don't we use the activation of the crystal bowls for tonight's show as an intention here to send Mr. Dick Algayer some healing and love energies. And for all of you in the chat also, please type in your comments of love and respect and of energy to, again, our friend Dick Algayer. Elena, let's get started here with activating your bowls and opening up this healing session tonight. Wow, I love that. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone in the live chat, for all those amazing and beautiful, heartfelt comments for our friend, Dick Algayer. And of course, this video was deleted a while back when I lost, I think, my second YouTube channel. So if you want to have fun and see the parody between Magnum PI and this amazing detective of the remote viewing world, Mr. Dick Algayer, go check it out on my Odyssey page. It's really, really cool. Okay. Wow, thank you so much. That's great. So what I want to do now, Julie, you mentioned earlier, we're in this Mars Chiron healing astronomy lineup right now. Explain that to the audience members. And as you do that, I'm going to ask all of you now in the audience to share with us the next portion here of the healing activation for tonight's show, where you want the energy to be sent. Your brother, your sister, your lover, your kids, your dog, whatever that may be, please populate that in the field now, in the sense of, hi, I'm Jean-Claude and I'm sending my energy to my 3 beautiful daughters, something like that. So that's my intention for tonight's show. Please, for all of you, do the same now while Julie explains here this Mars Chiron healing astronomy. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, so well, first of all, I think this is a great idea. I love it. We have Mars and Chiron conjuncting at this full moon in the sign of Aries. So Aries is like the physical body. Mars is taking action. and Chiron healing. So taking action towards healing. So it's kind of asking you, well, yes, very literally to take action towards more healing. So changing habits. But also, since it's a full moon in Sagittarius, it's really asking us to let go of past belief system, past thought processes that weren't in support to your healing. So let's say you identified yourself as having a certain illness or having a specific blockage, then it's really time to, let's say you type in the chat, I'm letting go of this particular physical situation. So it's very through the psychological and the spiritual. So I feel this is going to be a really great healing energy. And I know Elena is going to activate all of our chakras with the 7 bowls that she has. So it's really an overall energetic healing.
Okay, very good. Let me ask you while you're here also, Janine, who, might I ask, do you want to send your healing energy to tonight? Oh, hold on, Janine. I muted you during the crystal bowl thing so that we didn't create feedback. Okay, there you go. Go back. Go again, Janine.
I'm sending it to my brother Jerry in the Haida Gwaii.
Okay, very good. And how about you, Sophie? Anybody in particular you want to send energy to tonight?
Yes, the 2 kids that we have at home who are autistic, and that I really need to send that healing to them.
Okay, very good. And Julie, anybody in your field of view?
I'm sending it to Lorraine because she's on her last days here on Earth. So I just want to make sure she has the best passage.
Okay, I love that. And how about you, Elena? Anybody specific you want to send your healing energy and amazing crystal bowl activation to tonight?
To my husband.
Very good. Okay, very direct. I love it. Okay, so let me just read a few comments here on the screen. Let me see if I can scroll back down. I'm Renee, and I'm sending my intention to my son, Cooper. Help him find his path. Very nice. Jill, my energy goes to my son, Tim. Angela, I'm sending my energy to my daughter, my family, my friends, and myself. Thank you, Angela, for that. Maria, I'm sending healing energy to my daughter, Sarah. Diane, sending healing love to my brother, David. Hayden is sending his energy to Uncle Robert. Buddy, he is needing healing during this time. And April, sending for my family and the planet. I love that. And there's so much more. I can't read them all. We'd be here all night. But thank you so much, everyone, for participating and sharing with the audience members here your heartfelt, directional intention here for the healing energy tonight. Before I do that, let's pull some cards from both. Sophie, let me get Sophie on the line here as well. How can you add here to the astrology from your tarot perspective why this particular intention setting and this healing experiment we're doing together tonight is so important? Sophie.
Sure. Let's see with the cards. Really, really good cards. So I have the summer card and I have the terror, which is the fear that we talked about in the beginning. And the final card is big dreams. So for me, it's telling us to stay in high vibration. And with hoping and healing, we are staying in a high vibration. We are not in those low vibration of fear. So we are staying really high vibration and we are capable of creating miracles.
Wow. Okay. Very good. And someone was asking, and you, JC, I did actually say it. I am sending my energy to my 3 beautiful daughters, Audriane, Sophie, and Emilie. And Janine and I were just talking about this on the Monday show, how important it is for parents to recognize perhaps some of the long-term impacts that the last 2 years have had on our teenagers and our children. And we're asking all of the adults here to come together to address that, even though our politicians and our so-called experts have forgotten this for the most part. So that's where I want to put my energy tonight. Janine, anything also from the tarot from your perspective, either personally or from the cards here to add to the momentum here for this healing session we're about to enter?
I got the 7 of Wands, which is unique. And this guy defends, even though he has unique ideas or he's a little bit offbeat or different, which is a very Sagittarian card, by the way. He's defending his right to, or his valor. So the old-fashioned word valor. Okay, so he's saying, you know what? I know that I'm going against all of you, people that don't believe this and that and what I believe, but I'm defending my right to be who I am or the way I am. So there's a sense of being there for yourself. So many people forget that. We're there for all these other people, but what about for ourselves? So don't forget to be there and have personal self-worth, right? So there's that. And then this card was with, like, they came up in the same row. So this card can often be tricky, but I think it's well aspected with this card. So I'm going to read it in the really good aspect, which is this guy is one of our biggest healing cards, or healers. Okay, so don't forget that even though you could be doing a really unique version of, just your adding to the community, for instance, could be healing for others. Just you making a comment, just you adding your knowledge, underneath somebody else's comment, joining in or adding your energy could actually be lifting the community or helping in some way. There's a lot of ways to be a healer, and they don't have to be obvious. Sometimes you can just come in a room and the vibration raises because you brought that energy into the room, or just you're recognizing other people's value. Maybe they don't recognize it in themselves. When you point it out or recognize it, it's an act of healing. So he heals in all of these subtle ways. This guy's really subtle, but he's a powerful healer. So not to underestimate what you bring, even if it's a really unique gift to your community, your family, or your life.
I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And April Marshall also making a good point. For our highest ascension, for all of us collectively, I think that's a really good overall intention. Thank you so much, April. And Colleen says, Janine, that gave me chills. I know it did. It's really cool. All right, guys, as we are about to enter this healing ceremony here, I'd like to remind you to maybe bring your crystals with you, perhaps your silver bars, perhaps your Yoga Elena crystal infused candles as well with you. We're about to start here, so if you want to create your own grid, as one of these beautiful subscribers of ours have sent us this picture here, many of you are doing so, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on that. Yes, the Beyond Mystic bars are now available to the public at large. Now that we've fulfilled all of the pre-order forms, you guys can get these now too. If you're interested, you can find that at beyondmystic.net/silver bar. And of course, there you have the choice between the Tarot Star card. There's a reason for the Star card, as well as the Beyond Mystic logo bar explained. And you'll see all of this detail here on the page. So go check that out if that is of interest to you. Okay.
And if I can add before Elena starts, we put Carla's pyramid in the background so the energy is at its highest possible.
Oh, I love that. Yes. And thank you so much for that. Also, it reminds me, guys, if you're looking at getting some of these amazing and powerful organized pyramids here from Ascension Organized, of course, Carla, who provides these for the show, she's absolutely amazing. You can find those at ascensionorganized.com. And they're also, as always, Beyond Mystic is the coupon code to get an extra 10% off. Okay, Elena, let me ask you specifically also, how do you want to set the stage? How do you want people to contribute to this energy? How long do you want to do this healing for? Just let us know here how things are going to unfold in the next couple of minutes. Oh, hold on, Elena, you're on mute. Hold on a sec. There you go. Go ahead, Elena.
Perfect. It's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. And basically, I invite you to close your eyes and feel the energy. Open your chakras and let's activate them. Let's balance them.
Okay, very good. So folks, about 10 minutes. In the meantime, if you want to continue adding and you're just joining us on the show now, please type in the live chat where and to who you want to send this collective healing energy to create to the overall momentum. And don't forget to use your crystals, your candles, and perhaps your silver also, and water to amplify the signal with us now. So Elena, the screen is all yours. Please get us started. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. I invite you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Start feeling the energy around you. During this meditation, you might feel a bit sensitive. This is normal. Feel your emotion and let them flow. On this full moon in Sagittarius, Sun in Gemini, absorb this powerful message of the full moon. It is the perfect moment to send your intentions and manifest. It is the time to manifest. Let's begin and travel together. Root chakra. Feel the heat. Feel the red color. Activate and open. And now let's travel to the sacral chakra. Feel the orange color. Feel the sunset. The most beautiful sunset you ever seen is in front of you. Let's activate and open. Solar and plexus chakra. Let's travel through this yellow color. Heart chakra. Bring your hands close to your heart and feel the green light. Feel the energy, the nature, and feel that you are alive. And feel the connection. Let's open and activate. Throat chakra. Communicate to the world your intention. activate, and open. Third eye chakra. Your intuition is the right one. Activate and open. Crown chakra. Get in touch with the universe and your star family. Let's open and activate. Sending you love and light. Namaste.
Wow, thank you so much, Elena. That was very powerful. And the sound was coming in crystal clear. I absolutely love it. It was like echoing here in the room. So thank you so much, everyone. As you guys were meditating here, I was bringing up even more comments and direction to the healing energy. So thank you, everyone, for sharing your thoughts with us here in the live chat. Ben Thompson says, yes, round of applause. Go check him out on YouTube. Ben has a new YouTube channel also, Inspired Action, I believe is the name. Really cool concept. So go check out his work also there on YouTube. Thank you, Ben, for that. Okay, first thoughts. Let me bring Sophie. You look kind of zen all of a sudden. Sophie, how was that activation and healing for you? What would you like to share with the audience?
It's always super powerful. I don't know, when you said sensitive, I don't know if you said that in a way that it was more emotionally, but the sound for those two last chakras, it hurt me physically also. I think I was that sensitive to the noise. I don't know if that's normal, but you're very, very relaxing. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Elena, before I ask Janine, what would you say to those people too who perhaps like Sophie had a specific reaction to one or two or three of the main chakra bowls? Why is that? What was happening?
Well, right now we are healing and we did it together. And because of this energy so powerful, I feel like the emotion were really high. At the beginning of the show, I was listening to you guys and my tears were coming almost 3 times. And it's like we really feel the emotion and it's important to feel them. And it's normal. Just let them flow.
Just let it go. Okay, I love it. Janine, your reactions to the healing session tonight. What do you want to share? Oh, hold on, Janine. Hold on. You're on mute. Okay, go ahead, Janine. Sorry about that, folks. I was trying to make sure everybody could hear the crystal balls. I muted everyone. Go ahead, Janine.
I felt really peaceful, almost like I wanted to fall asleep in a good way. And the throat chakra for me, that was so clear. And it was like I could almost see a beam of light coming right out of my throat into the universe. Like that was a really clear one. There was a few that probably I could work on and I could feel where there were tugging and I needed more work there. But it was really the third eye and the throat were really clear there. So it was really exciting when you can feel where the work is and where maybe you've done some work.
Wow. Okay. Really cool. Julie, how about you? What would you like to share?
And yeah, if I can add to Janine, what she just said, the full moon is falling directly on your midheaven, so it's connected to your life mission. So throat chakra and third eye makes a lot of sense. It's pretty much what you're doing. But me too, I have to say, like, I really felt the throat chakra, and Elena said something like fill your intentions, and like all my intentions when we were talking about the throat chakra were really clear in my mind. So that one was very powerful for me too.
Wow, really cool. Yeah, I don't think I had one in particular. All of them were impactful to me as we went up the different chakras. And of course, I was reading everyone. But what I was visualizing, and I just found a picture here as we're doing this live, not the best picture, but it'll give you an idea of what I was visualizing. I was visualizing that this huge wave that we were collectively pushing out on the planet with this intention. That's what I could see we were actually doing. So yes, there is that drop. That is you individually. But once you hit that water, we were all collectively sending that healing energy. So that was my visualization.
I felt us very connected to, like, with all the people writing in the chat right before, and I felt like I was surrounded with like a good energy.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, folks, if you like this concept, let me know. And so far, there's quite a few in the chat saying, hey, we need to do this again. This was really cool, JC. So I agree. I'd love to do it. But I'm curious, if you guys love this concept, let us know in the live chat. And we will, of course, take that into consideration as we produce more shows. So let me do a quick round of the table here as we wind down the show. While you're on the screen, I guess, Julie, I'll ask you any last words of wisdom for tonight. I know, as you said, there's a lot of weird things happening in the news. If you guys have been following along also with the Astro Woo for this month, it is a weird month. It's not what you expect. We're in those energies now, and they're probably going to get weirder before they get any better. So, Julie, what do you want to share here with the audience members, and also let them know how they can get their hands on one of these amazing birth charts to get a little bit more understanding of their own astrology?
Yeah, I feel with all this distraction energy that the mainstream media and the governments are trying to put out in the world, I feel like we're having to focus even more on our spirituality and inner life. So I myself felt guided to do a tarot card pull yesterday for myself to have more guidance. So I feel like looking inwards is really the key right now. So that's what I'm feeling personally guided to anyways.
Okay. And Myrtle is asking, Julie, how can I learn more about astrology? Let us know, first of all, on how to read these birth charts. So let me see if I can bring up the poster as well. You did a video on this on your YouTube channel, but explain, generally speaking here, how one gets started with their own astrology.
Yeah, so on my website, MAISONJupiter.com, I offer a personalized birth chart. So it's like a poster in the color of your choice of your the position of your planets in the moment of your birth. So it is your kind of the blueprint for all your life and the different possibilities, what you came in to experience in this lifetime. And it comes with a 15 to 20 pages report. So it describes your planet placements and most important aspects. So I feel this is a really great place to start if you want to know more about your own birth chart and your astrology. And then for sure, astrology is an ongoing art and science. So there's a lot to learn about astrology. It's very complex, but I feel it's fascinating because every time I learn something new, I'm like, wow, it expands so much my horizons. So I made a video on my YouTube channel to help decode even more the birth chart. So it's called a birth chart 101 for beginners. So this is a really like step one. You can do decoding your birth chart, and I'm aiming to do some more.
Okay, very good. And I can attest, having this report, I've learned a lot already about my own astrology and how it affects my life in ways that I didn't even know before reading this. And now suddenly it makes a lot of sense. So if you guys are looking for that, please do check it out at MAISONJupiter.com. Of course, the links are in the description box below. And on that note, too, I want to let you know a quick update here as we are working on the Beyond Mystic Academy, where, of course, we're going to be giving classes on all of these amazing esoteric concepts. Julie, Janine, and myself are hard at work here creating the basis for the Academy, and we're bringing on, of course, a lot of new guests also who have amazing teachings to share with you, the audience members. And the course layout is going to look a little bit like this. This is the French version of the tarot courses. Of course, Janine will be taking the English version of that. So stay tuned for that, maybe another month here before we go live. So that's coming soon. So let me go now to Sophie. How about you, Sophie? Any last words of wisdom for the audience tonight? And also let them know what they can expect when they book an amazing, for now at least, some of the priority bookings that are still available on the website for you. Sophie.
Sure. So yes, so right now I have some priority bookings that I just released for next week. I think I'm booked for 1 hour until the end of August. I'm really trying to add as much as possible. So thank you for waiting. Thank you so much for your patience. What you can expect is it's your time. So whenever you have 30 minutes with me or 1 hour, you tell me what you want to explore. You tell me what is your priority, and I go with what you want to see, what you want to ask. So it's your time. As in for my last words of wisdom, as you ask, just thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for you guys. Also, I'm so grateful for those videos. It's always wonderful to meet. It's always wonderful to learn. It's always wonderful to share this energy with all of you. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome, Sophie. I love having you on. And if the emails I get and testimonials from your booking sessions are any indications, you're absolutely on fire, because we keep seeing a lot of repeat customers for your reading. So that's on you. So congratulations, Sophie, for all of that amazing hard work. I know the community loves you very much. And of course, they can find you at MAISONJupiter.com. Again, 10% coupon code is effective for that as well. BeyondMystic is the code. Now, for you, Elena, is there anything new coming up? Are we going to be looking at some maybe new models coming up maybe next month? What's on the horizon here for your crystal infused candles here for the next couple of months? What could the audience expect?
We are working on something very special in August.
Okay.
And please, guys, don't be afraid to order. If you say like there's heat in a place around the world that it's really hot, because we worked in how to package the candle very well in a way that it's not going to melt. And the message that you guys sent to Julie, they are incredible. First of all, they're so positive. And also, you guys give us so much tips that this business, it's only been 2 months and we're like, it's going very well. Thank you so much.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you so much, Elena. And Kelly, of course, is saying, I love my candles. Well, I love mine too. And everybody I know who has them, and I've gifted them to quite a few people already, and they're absolutely ecstatic. So if you don't have one, put one in your arsenal. You'll be better for it, I'm sure. Janine, last words of wisdom. Anything else coming up from you? Do you want to pull some cards to get a general reading from you? Oh, you already did. Okay. You read my mind. Go ahead, Janine.
So the world was the first one. So the world is like a gateway card, and you come to the end of a really long situation that you might have been, studying in university for years. Then you went for your master's. Now you've got your doctorate, that kind of thing, right? So it's like when you come to the end of something, maybe even lifetimes of work, in the case of the spiritual situation we're all facing right now with the world, this has been going on apparently. And if you listen to that interview I did with Ismail, got to say his name right, Ismail Perez. I think that's how he got me to say it. He was teaching me how to say his name before we went on. Anyway, like he was saying, this situation that we're all in collectively has been going on for, I think he said, billions of years. Mm-hmm. So it's been a long, long time, and that time doesn't go the same way we think it does. So maybe that means something different when you know how time really works. Like, I don't know that yet. But with the world card, it could be a situation that we're all in collectively that's finally reaching a crescendo and an end. And we're all looking at it, whether it comes, this week, this by the end of today? Like, will it come? We don't know, but we're coming to it and we're getting to that point. So this card reminds us to take a minute and look back at everything and all of your life and say goodbye to it forever, because you're entering into a whole new level. We're all leveling up. Okay, so not to forget to honor what's been, even if it was hard work, even if you didn't like it, even if there's hardships back there, you have to honor what got you here, because all of that hard work you did got you to this new energy we're walking into. So I love that card. And this card here was the backup card. So it's just giving us a little more information. It's a Two of Pentacles. So we're really close to saying goodbye to all of those things, but there's still a few things to work out. Okay. And this card also indicates that timelines are converging. Okay. So I feel like this is like there's different timelines all converging. And that's hard to understand for myself anyway. I won't speak for the audience. Maybe they're a lot quicker than I am, but for me, that's really hard to understand. But I feel it in my heart that there's things coming together because we've evolved and we'll be able to understand these things a lot better on the other side of this. So see the big picture and don't think of it in days, hours, weeks. Think of it as the end of an era and the beginning of a whole new era for the human race. Think of it in a bigger term, and it might feel smoother that way.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Powerful advice. I love it. Thank you so much. And folks, of course, you can find Janine here at Sending Ravens. You can go check out that last interview if you haven't already seen it. And you can find a lot of her work also here at Tarot by Janine. Folks, tomorrow night, we have Janine back on the show for a regular Tarot by Janine episode starting at 8 o'clock Eastern. But we're also tomorrow night going to have a very special guest joining us for another activation session. And of course, it's the lovely May Levy, and she's going to be promoting one of her new upcoming live activation seminars. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. Now, also, I wanted to bring your attention to the It's Now or Never coupon code. Now or Never, of course, 10% off of the Beyond Mystic Insider Access Pass, available to you guys for all of our amazing contents, the pay-per-views, the special investigations, the Astro Woo, the Beyond Crypto Woo, all of that stuff is on sale now. We have 1 day left here on this coupon code. The proceeds, the 100% of the proceeds of this coupon code also go directly to Janine to support her in her work. Of course, as you know, recently demonetized also by YouTube. So thank you to all of you who have already subscribed, and thank you to all of you newcomers here who are joining that amazing and beautiful community. I love you guys. This was the Divine Feminine Oracle Show. Please join us again and have a great evening. Thank you so much, everyone. Au revoir.
Au revoir.